Okay, I'm sorry, my camera ran out of battery. I'll charge it later. It doesn't really matter, you don't really need to see me to figure out how to do the tutorial. All you need is to see After Effects. And, right, so you want to learn about keyframes. So, make a new composition, blah 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 blah, 25 frames a second, 5 seconds, 720p, that's just standard. Right, okay, that is our blank comp. Let's just take the text tool, but well, you can take text tool. Might as well show you how to do the text. Okay, I'm just gonna make it white, obviously, because it's a black background. Greg's media. We'll change that text. That's a horrible text to use. That is an R, not an A, just so you know. Watch this, I'll change it to a good font and then it'll be an A. It's not Christmas yet. So let's pause really quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's a capital R. Boom. Okay, Greg's media. Okay, so say we're wanting to animate this text, fly on the screen, fly off, maybe a cool credit kind of thing. This is what you do. You click that little button here, that one right there, click it, and then click transform. You will see heaps of options. Opacity, obviously, you know, changes how opaque it is. Rotation, it's rotation. I'm gonna zero that out and make it back to normal. Scale, I've already taught you about that, but you know, scale, make it bigger, smaller, that kind of thing. Obviously, position, you know, where it is, and anchor point is that little thing there, but you can just leave it there. I mean, it doesn't really matter where it is. You can put it in the middle by clicking that tool there, the pan behind anchor point kind of tool. You can put it in the middle, wherever roughly the middle is. So let's just say it's there. Normally it will be in the middle. On text, it's at the left, bottom hand left side. Don't know why it is. So I'm gonna need to make myself another cup of tea. That's cold. Yeah. So let's say we want it to. Let's say we want it to fly on. So we'll put it off here. Yeah, just drag it off. It's fine if you drag it off. Click the stopwatch. Let's put this right back to the beginning. So it's at the beginning, and you can see right now nothing's happening. It's all black. And you'll be like, why is that? Well, that's because it's over there, and we haven't really done much with it yet. So it'll take 1 second to come on to the screen. So we just move it, and you will see, ooh, it's moving in. Then let's say you want it to move in and fade on at the same time. Just put the opacity down, click the stopwatch. You can actually click this to get it right on the keyframe where it's right in the center. Turn the opacity up and watch it. Look, it kind of fades on. Okay, now when let's say you've motion tracked something, I'll teach you about motion tracking in another episode. This is just getting basics done. Motion tracking into real footage. You normally track it either in After Effects or Mocha or Buju, whatever you track with, and then hold on, I'm just speaking all rubbish here. You'll track your footage, and then you'll put say this is what you're wanting to track in, and then you'll be like, oh, it doesn't look too real. It looks too perfect all the time. Well, this is the reason why. There isn't any motion blur on it. You click motion blur and then you click it That's for the comp. So anything after you've clicked this, the motion blur on in this, everything that you click here, that's motion blur. It'll do it for the rest of the clips if you've clicked it on here. It's hard to explain. And you'll see that it has this like cool kind of blurry, how can I put it? Okay, it's blurred, okay, and then it goes back to normal as it comes down to your point. This is hard to explain. It's probably making it harder. So yeah, that's basically motion blur. You always want to have motion blur on. It just makes things seem more realistic. I always have motion blur on. And see if I forget and then I'll put it on YouTube, I will be so annoyed with myself. It's like one of those things where you're just like, oh no, somebody will point it out. And somebody who's really into all this stuff will point out, oh, that could have been more realistic. Because it just makes things look fake. That just gives it a little more realism. So that's basically keyframes. That is basically all you need to know. It's just make sure your effects or whatever, like say we put on an effect, let's find an effect to put on. Or we can make a new effect, like layer, new, solid. I always use solids or adjustment layers to put my effects onto if it's a separate asset. So effect, generate, lens flare. And that one looks kinda rubbish, so let's put 105 prime. That one looks really cool, I think. But you can download optical flares from videocopilot.net. They do really good. Like Action Essentials is where you can get like the muzzle flares, blood splats and stuff. No Control Cinema is where you get more blood and muzzle flares and various other stuff you can get from them. But Video Copilot have like just released this new demo of their 3D. It's like having 3ds Max in your After Effects, so it's like a 3D program within After Effects, so it looks really good. Can't wait to get my hands on that. Yeah, so let's just make this black and white. So optical flares is like a more realistic version of this, just so you know. It's Video Copilot do a lot of good stuff, and this is how much you want to tint it, so you can make it just have a little bit of colour in it, which looks kind of stylish. But I'm just going to make it black and white, just for the sake of it. Now, as I taught you before, you can either hit screen, and that will get rid of the black, and you can see the Greg's media thing. Or you can add, which brightens stuff up. You won't really see it on a black background, but yeah, it brightens stuff up. But for just now, we are going to use Unmult. Just because it's a good plugin. You can use screen, you don't have to use Unmult. Actually, I'm going to use screen because it's unfair to you if you don't have Unmult. So just use screen and you can get this up. Right, so say we're wanting the lens flare. Look, here's all your stopwatches. That's for editing your keyframes as well. But if you go here, press E for effects, and you will get like tint and lens flare effects. So here's all your, it's like just like editing these. It's really simple. Just click on your layer that you want to edit. We're gonna change the brightness to 0, and then we're gonna make it go fully bright when Greg's media hits there. So make it go 100%. And you'll see that it just kind of comes on when Greg's media flies in. Okay. Now that looks pretty cool by itself, but we can add more animation to this by moving this around. So let's put it back to the beginning. Click the little stopwatch to make that keyframes editable. Yeah, I got it right, okay. And then you want to go to the keyframe where Greg's media is there, and maybe just make it look stylish like that. So now you've got this. See how cool that is? And that's basically editing keyframes. Now, this cool optical flare, lens flare kind of thing allows you to go beyond 100% brightness. It allows you to fill the frame in brightness. Okay? So, let's just move along to maybe 4 seconds, and then fill the frame with brightness, because I know there's somebody who wants to know how to do this. Fill the frame in brightness. Boom. So it comes in, it's like that for a good few seconds, and then it gets brighter. I need to finish this video soon. It's almost 12 minutes and I've just been yabbling on about Video Copilot. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you know, add motion blur, because you know the lens flare comes on and animates on, so it should be a little bit blurry. I mean, if it doesn't look too blurry to you and you're like, man, I need more blur, you know, it's just find the blur. Okay, there's no blur in here. Blur. Alright, blur. And here's all your blur and sharpen options. You've got smart blur, fast blur, directional blur, all this other stuff. And for this, because it's coming in at like a 45-degree angle, you want to put on a directional blur and then change it to like 45. Or, you know, kind of tweak it so it's like you can actually see it on the screen here. You know, if you're done it like that way, it goes kind of like that. So yeah, you just tweak about with it, and obviously, you know, how much blur is on it, you need to animate the effects of it. So no blur, more blur. It's just basically the same patterns all the time for After Effects. Just really good pattern system here. It's a good workflow. So we'll just quickly do this just for the last effect, just so you get the hang of it. Lens flare, directional blur. We'll add the blur length is the one where it's like how much blur is on it. So we'll start at 15, and just before it finishes, we will add another keyframe by clicking the little diamond symbol there, make it yellow, and then just about on that keyframe there, just make it 0, so then it comes into focus. So it's like, you know what, screw it, we're going to make it half resolution, just because, no, third, just to make it faster. So you will see, I know it's a bit grainy, but it has a blur, you can see it there. Put it full, just has blur, and then the blur kind of goes away, and then it brightens up. So that's what we've created. Right, I'm going to stop and leave you with that, because that is a long tutorial. Hopefully all that keyframe stuff has helped you. If it hasn't, then tell me in the comments, because I really need to know how to help you guys. I could be speaking a load of gibberish and you go, no, stop, slow down, I don't understand. If you don't, then I am sorry. Just hit me up with a little comment, send me a message, go on Twitter at Greg's Media, or Facebook. Actually, no, not Facebook. Facebook's just depressing. Okay, so not on Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook. So just Twitter. I wasn't even going to tell you my Facebook. Right, yep, okay. Subscribe, peeps, and watch more Greg's Media videos. Subscribe to other people's as well, not just me, because I'm so awesome and stuff. I love you guys. Bye.